I hope you can see me okay. I'm afraid we had a bit of a internet problem. So I haven't got the chat pop up yet, but I hope you can see me and hear me okay at half time. Right, I haven't got the chat come up here. I don't know where it's gone. Yeah, the stream is on. Right, the last message I got was MK Don, so if you can't see me, or let me know. I don't know where the chat is. I'm a little confused. There should be a chat here. So sorry about this. I just lost my internet. Oh, come on. Right, I hope you can see me. Back. Thank you very much, Paul. And looks like Mönchengladbach have made it 1-2, so it's a reminder, as I said to you, cashing out. You don't have to worry. Now we've got to worry about whether we can get that second goal. I'm just going to try to get back to my live stream. I am sorry about this. Just got the internet went. Okay, so we've got the chat up back. Thank you very much, Paul. So hopefully that's all okay for you. So let's go through some of these. Gillingham and Tranmere 9th against 18th. Evans favourite Gillingham, so I'd keep an eye on that one. Antwerp, well, not a surprise. I've just got to get back to Cadiz. So let's see if I can get these markets back up and running, or if they're still suspended. Good, up and running. So I'm going to be laying over 1.5 goals. Slightly risky, given Antoine Griezmann is out. Have a look at Atletico Madrid +1. Is it reasonable enough? Let's have a look. Well, that for me is reasonable enough for a side as big as Atletico Madrid. Pre-Champions League as well. It's not a guaranteed profit today. And on that basis, both teams to score no would have been a good idea, wouldn't it? Champions League weekend. Both teams to score. Let's have a look. Both teams to score no. Well, 3.55, a little too short. So I've laid over 1.5 goals, and I've gone Atletico Madrid +1 here. It does come with risks. We can have a look at the stats here. Only 2 shots on target. Missing Antoine Griezmann as well. Could be some trouble there. Right, hopefully I'm not missing your messages. Thank you very much, Bosun. Good stuff. So I'll just pass that one on, even though it's a risky one today. But Cadiz, I think they've got a very poor record. Only 2 wins indeed. So yes, they're vulnerable. Pre-Champions League. Cadiz 1, Atletico Madrid 0. Now this comes with risks, of course. It's pre-Champions League for Atletico Madrid. They are away from home. But Cadiz have only had 2 wins all season. And those came before September 2023. They've had 9 draws in the last 14 matches. Only 2 defeats in 2024 for Atletico Madrid. Only 1 win away though against the top 14. So they might be vulnerable. But on Cadiz's record, I've got to lay over 1.5 goals. And personally, I've just backed Atletico Madrid +1. But if you fancy them, you can go match odds. Back Atletico, lay Cadiz, half stake as liability. I'll leave that choice up to you. But if you want to see my choices, go to the live stream at YouTube. So we acknowledge the risks here. Pre-Champions League and away from home, and missing Antoine Griezmann. So some serious absences there. As you've seen, we can't take these outsiders for granted. And I should have cashed out. As you see, the benefit of cashing out has just come to the fore here, hasn't it? Now you're having to sit on your hands. What am I going to do? Am I going to take the loss, and I'm going to hold out for a 2-2, or am I going to take the full red? That's what you do when you don't cash out, you see. Don't make assumptions. So just work our way through this. So we're just waiting for the half times really to begin second half. There's 2 shots on target only from Atletico. Very little for us to get our teeth into from the first half stats. It's probably a match better worth watching to see what kind of a mood Atleti are in today, pre-Champions League. Morecambe against Wrexham, 3rd against 8th, possibility of that draw ending. Certainly Bournemouth looking good, 5 shots on 7, but a massive 7 shots for Sheffield United is very rare for them. See them that prolific in front of goal. MK Dons against Salford looks to be going the way of the market there. QPR Middlesbrough, again possibility of laying that draw second half, and a bit gutted about that Leicester equaliser. I didn't pull the trigger.
This market has been suspended.
So we can get rid of some of these. So we're just waiting for second halves to begin. It's heading up to 4 o'clock. 6-1 already for Bayern Munich. Could have done with Mainz scoring first there, couldn't we? So we found their footing today. And there's that 2-2 for Mönchengladbach. So I've been let off the hook.
Goal. Borussia Mönchengladbach Cologne is 2-2.
See, if you do cash out, we had a great example of this a couple of weeks ago in a live stream, didn't we? Called a lot of them correctly, cashed out, and then they slipped up late on, equaliser, that kind of thing. So that's what's happening here with an unexpected 1-2. We still don't get much of a gain here, but it might just take the warning, take the green, acknowledge the fact you're not going to make a big profit here. The big profit was 2-1 to Mönchengladbach, because you add a goal to that in this market, that makes it 3-1. But it's 2-2 currently. I'll take the green, I think. I won't be retiring just yet on that profit. But more importantly for me, the red is back in my betting bank. That's what it's all about. Let's have a look at our odds-ons. Bournemouth, well, we know all about Bournemouth. Good in-play stats. Crystal Palace Luton, question mark, basically. New manager for Crystal Palace, could see them making significant strides. Augsburg and Heidenheim. Well, Heidenheim got the equaliser against Frankfurt the other week. Or was it from 2-0 to 2-1? They do have a goal in them, Heidenheim. Don't forget, only really Bayer Leverkusen have got the better of them of late. They've been in such decent nick. So you might get a throwaway lay of Augsburg at some stage. I don't think we need the Bayern Munich result anymore. Leipzig as well. And there we go for Mönchengladbach, just as I bleeping cash out as well. They decide to get the winner. Bastards. Yeah, thanks very much. Just as I cashed out, I could have got out with 100% profit there. Let's have a look at the Cadiz goal. Was it from open play? Was it a suspect goal? No. Juanmi, Memphis Depay, yellow card. You don't want to be losing your strikers, particularly with Antoine Griezmann absent. So Memphis, just be a little careful. I don't have a Selinkovo Savic. They don't have a very strong forward line on the bench. They've got Lamar from Kajagoogoo. He's out as well. That's going to be a big miss for them. And there's Antoine Griezmann out. So you just got to hope that Mr. Offside and Memphis Depay deliver today. It's interesting to see Axel Witsel in the middle of defence. Very strange. Salzburg goal is VAR'd. So we're just going to look at our odds-ons. Trabzonspor 0-0 after 2 minutes. Well, it's just started, hasn't it? So let's not get too carried away there. Blackburn odds on, yeah. Norwich, well, taking Rotherham to town. Southampton as well looks done. All our other odds on, as well as 0-0. Derby did have a goal disallowed in the first half. We normally rely on Peterborough. Yeah, well done. We do normally rely on Peterborough second half goals. Charlton and Carlisle as a 1-1. Exeter and Bolton. Exeter might surprise if this remains 0-1 for a concerted period of time. Stevenage against Fleetwood as well. English League 2. We'll get rid of the Bradford City match. We don't need to follow that anymore. Similar story really for MK Dons, or are MK Dons layable, given Salford have been in such good form under the new manager? If they can make it 3-2 nice and quick, you might have a nice play there. So we can have a look at MK Dons and Salford, just based on Salford's record really. Should be short enough odds. Salford desperately need points as well, and this is short enough to have a tickle. You're looking for a 3-2 obviously. Looking for Salford to score the next goal. Remember, under new management, 3 wins and a draw, I think, last 4 matches. And it's 38 to back. So really well worth a few quid. If we can get that 3-2 by the hour mark, those odds of 38 are going to drop significantly. There we go. Doesn't have to be much. As long as you've got a decent amount to work with from Salford City. 168 quid is a decent amount there. So that looks okay to me. Second half will be beginning soon. Stockport and Newport got 1.4 favourite. Stockport, I think, second in the league, aren't they? So we'll be looking for the possibility of that draw ending second half. Pisa 1.85 favourite. We won't be playing the Scottish Championship, so I can get rid of that. And our Turkish Yorkshireman friends are just kicking off as well. Second half's beginning, so we should have an interesting set of matches second half. Keep an eye out for your 0-0s and your 1-1 draws and your draws in matches where at least one of the sides needs points, and preferably both sides are in a relegation fight, like Millwall and Birmingham. Must take points off your nearest market rival because they're so tightly packed. Must take points. Simple as that. No excuse. Let's have a look at the live standings. Millwall and Birmingham. It's taking a while. So Millwall currently on 17, in 17th, Birmingham in 20th place. So as you can see, 3 points would be very, very welcome. Could take these two up to 15 and could take Millwall up to 14th with a win. So that draw certainly very vulnerable at some point. That's the key. Can we time it right?
This market has been suspended.
Morecambe, red card against Wrexham. Vanished completely.
Goal. Borussia Empire Cologne is 3-3.
Thank you. I've gone completely. It was because I lost the internet, so I'll just see if I can suss that out.
Goal. Borussia Empire Cologne is 3-3.
Thank you for letting me know, Guy. Hopefully you can see me now. And there's that Exeter equaliser. Thank you, Robert. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. That was just the internet connection. I can't do anything about that. So that's an Exeter equaliser. What a pity I didn't pull the trigger on odds on favourite Bolton there. 3-3. Definitely want to lay the late draw here. Obviously Köln are not giving an inch. So get that match up. And we go to the Köln match. You could even lay the draw now. Start at 1.25. So I'll go 1.25. This is called drip laying. £5. Then we go to 1.19 odds to lay to win £5. 1.14 to win £5. 1.09 to win 11. And then 1.06 to win 16. This will capture any late winning goal. You can tell Köln are well up for this today, can't you? They're not letting Mönchengladbach get away with it. Can they get only their third or fourth win of the season? Well, we'll find out later on if it remains 3-3. So I hope you can see me again. Yeah, thank you, Robert. So let's just work our way through. Stevenage against Fleetwood, 6th against 23rd. So points needed for both teams for differing reasons. Well, 0-0 last match for Stevenage. I don't like taking on 0-0s, and I've had a couple of 1-0s as well. So they've been working on that defence, as you can see in the last 4 matches. 1-0-0-0 conceded. Stark contrast to both teams to score Fleetwood Town. But it does look as if defences are on top for Stevenage today. 1 shot on 3 off and 2 corners. 35 dangerous attacks to 6. Millwall against Birmingham. Well, we're still waiting with interest there. Preston against Stoke. Again, 22nd in the league. Desperate need for a win. Look at Exeter coming from behind to lead 2-1. and I didn't take on Bolton. What a pity. I've been following this Exeter with interest as they're zooming up the league from the relegation zone. Half time now for Cadiz Atletico Madrid. We should have a play second half there. Hopefully there'll be some substitutions just to brighten up Atletico Madrid, and I wonder if the curse of the Champions League is going to bite them. Hopefully we won't see a second consecutive Cadiz goal today. Morecambe against Wrexham. We've got a red card in play here, and we've got third in the league, Wrexham. So this is English League 2. So let's have a look at the importance that a win will have on Wrexham today. So standings, just to give us some added impetus in taking on this draw. Morecambe are 8th in the league. They'll be keen to keep it at 1-1 to stay within a hair's breadth of a promotion playoff place. Wrexham, a win today against 10 men will take them up to 66 points and solitary second place, while Stockport still remains at 0-0. So motivation here certainly to take on this draw in the Morecambe and Wrexham match. But when? Is this mostly first half action, I think? Wolverhampton Wanderers have scored first against Fulham in a very tough to read match. 2 shots off target, 1 shot on target, 2 shots off target, and 3 corners. So starting to light it up second half. Morecambe against Wrexham. Let's bring that one up. And I think one of my neighbours has just bought a drum kit. Oh, it's just come in now, Wrexham. I was just about to check out that draw.
Goal. Morecambe Wrexham is 1-2.
Ah, gutted because the right team scored first in the second half. Didn't get there in time. You can see that started the second half very brightly indeed, didn't they, Wrexham? So that was one which went astray. I hope you got on before I did. I have to faff about a bit, I'm afraid. 53rd minute, and Sheffield United's plan is working so far. Keep a clean sheet, try to nick a 0-1 and hold on desperately to see if you can get those 3 points, which will make a huge difference. Or it will just paper over the cracks, though they'll still remain, I think, bottom, won't they? It's a bit gutted about that Wrexham one. Just getting there now. Bad timing. Well, can Plymouth take advantage of the 10-man Blackburn side? Odds on pre-match, 3 shots on target for Plymouth. One of them coming second half. And that's it. QPR and Middlesbrough, well, we know all about QPR putting in a really good run of it of late. No 0-0s at half time for either of these sides recently, so we've got nothing to gauge by as far as second half goal scoring is concerned. Let's work our way down. I think that was a Derby goal. Yeah, Derby and Peterborough, the usual suspects second half. So I think we can get rid of Antwerp. Watford and Coventry, 13th against 8th. Saints should be safe enough, famous last words. Leicester, I wonder if they can get that draw second half. They haven't had a draw in 5+ matches, but Hull have had 2 1-1 draws in the last 3, so it's going to be tough to take on that draw because they've had 2 1-1 draws in the last 3 matches. We've got the Peterborough draw, which is a pity. Charlton taking the lead against Carlisle. Leyton Orient red card at 0-0 against Wigan. No reaction yet from Wigan. Portsmouth, top of the league. Can they take advantage of 10-man Blackpool? Not very good away from home, Pompey, but surely they can cement automatic promotion spot with 3 points today. We'll watch this one with interest. This is a 2.38, the favourite. Very, very tight match. Port Vale against the Shrews. If the odds are short enough, I would take on the Shrews. Very tight match. Let's have a look at this one. Well, at these odds, again, to be encouraged, it's going to cost you £5 or £6 to find out whether we've got a goal in the Shrews. It's very early in the match. There's 35 minutes to go. It's a 2-0 lead. Very tightly grouped. And very tightly grouped as far as league position is concerned as well. So what we could do with is a Port Vale goal very quickly to get those odds of 44 dropping markedly. You can see the liability very low. We're looking really to make most of our money out of this if we can get that goal. And it's been very tight. Considering it's a 2.2, the favourite match. Those odds look very short indeed relative to that. 22nd against 20th. Desperate need for points. Very, very equal. 2 shots, 6 off, 6 corners, 23 dangerous attacks to 20. The only aberration, of course, Shrewsbury finishing is a lot more accomplished. So let's have a look. Just checking the goals out, really. Both from open play. Again, the benefit of such short liability is we can have a go, can't we? 2.25 the favourite. Both very near to each other in the league. 0-2 lead. One of the goals coming fairly recently. Put a little bit of a gloss on it. If we can get a goal back from Port Vale, then we're up and running. As you can see, a goal from Port Vale take them to 33 points if they can get a draw. And that'll be vital because they're only a point away from Cheltenham in 21st. Shrewsbury, of course, hold on to that win. You're in the 40-point barrier now, which is goal number 1 reached for survival. So it's a throwaway play, but I think it's well worth a go. Port Vale and the Shrews, very tight in play stats, very early still, and the onus is on both sides to get the win. So hopefully we'll get a competitive second half. Get rid of Bradford. Forest Green, well, you'd expect Walsall to do a number on them today. Forest Green don't tend to pick up points that easily, at least. Stockport against Newport County, again, possibility of laying the draw at some point here. If you're looking purely at the in-play stats. And second in the league, 6 shots on 9 off 5 corners. Can they get it? They're on a run of 2 consecutive draws. You have to check whether those draws, well, they're 0-0s. That is worrying. Changes the whole complexion laying that draw now, doesn't it? Very worrying. 2 consecutive 0-0s for Stockport County. Bossing it. Do you trust them today? Will Borough have the opening goal against QPR? QPR under really good form under the new manager at the moment. But this Middlesbrough are a very defensively sound side, so they're tough to take on once they've got the noses in front. So let's have a look at something else, some other stuff. 17th against 15th. Well, Reading making good noises as keep an eye on that Portsmouth red card. And again, Leyton Orient red card. Wigan not taking advantage yet. Reading, can they equalise? Oh, we'll keep tabs on that one. Barrow and Colchester 6 against 20th. Wolves against Fulham. I've not got a strong angle there at all. Lyon have had an exceptional second half of the season, so we're watching them with interest today. Some really good signings as well for Lyon. Some household names. I think we can get rid of Bundesliga matches. Return to form for Bayern Munich. About time too. Had an awful run. Elsewhere. And Hull have made it 2-1. That might be possible to take Hull on now, I wonder. Of course, the angle was the first time that Hull took the lead. And Sunderland have a goal back against the Saints. Looks like Stockport could end that draw, doesn't it, against Newport County. 2 consecutive 0-0s though is very worrying indeed. Yes, they might end the draw sequence. Will they end it now? Will it be 70th, 80th, 90th minute? They've obviously had some trouble in the last 2 matches with those 0-0 sequences. Stoke City have scored first against Preston North End. So this is on our watch list.
Preston Stoke is 0-1.
Let's have a look at M. Gladbach and Köln. Is a draw layable? Well, it's at 1.03, so yeah, you can see everything's got matched. This is, and Leicester have already made it 2-2, so I've missed out twice now on that. I was interested in that second play. Hull against Leicester, damn. So as you can see, the risk reward is pretty good. It's about 10-1. So I've got everything matched, 1.25 and lower, but it doesn't look as if we're going to get that winner, does it? Gillingham and Tranmere. Well, Gillingham making the right noises, aren't they? And it's all second half for the Gills. I'm going to have a look at this one. Forest Green have opened up against Walsall. They're normally gettable.
Chef UTD is 0-2.
So Chef UTD is 0-2.
Goal. Forest Green Walsall is 1-0.
That's the black. Sheffield United got their second goal.
Market has been suspended.
So that's where the insurance would work out, wouldn't it?
Suspended.
So that's 0-2 now. Sheffield United. Gillingham and Tranmere.
Goal. Bournemouth Chef UTD is 0-2.
Whoa. This stage of the season, isn't it? The odds. I thought the odds were a little bit too short for Bournemouth pre-match, but their in-play stats suggested they would score. So we'll have to hope for a 1-2 here as you'll cash out.
Bournemouth Chef UTD is 0-2.
So let's have a look here. 6 shots on, 11 off. It's those unexpectedly high shots on target for Sheffield United. There were 7 a while ago. Still remains at 9. So that's quite high. But 65 minutes. They're keeping Bournemouth out at the moment. They've got that important second goal. They haven't had a second half shot, Bournemouth. Had 3 shots off target. So this could be a really big result for Sheffield United. And this is a problem we face at this time of the season. These strugglers picking up wins. Forest Green taking the lead against Walsall, for instance.
Bournemouth Chef UTD is 1-2.
Nice and quick. Blimey. Now this is if you're feeling a bit squeamish and you went +1, you've got a couple of options now. This gives you an option to cash out, keeping your liability as low as you can.
TD is 1 to 2.
Make about a £4 loss on the +1. I think that's where I went. Or did I go match odds, which is even worse? Yeah, I went to the match odds. So if you went +1, it was far too short, wasn't it, the +1? So we're still okay-ish. You're at 1-2. You could lay over 3.5 goals, but that's going to cost a bit more. £1.36. It's going to cost me about £12 to cover that current scoreline. So I'd be making a big loss on the draw and a further loss, £15. So is it worth it? Because if it remains this scoreline, you make a £15 loss there, £13 loss here, that's 28 in total. So this is my maximum loss, £40. Now we've still got enough time for Bournemouth to do something and at least get us that draw. So where was I headed before I was interrupted? Gillingham and Tranmere, I think, have got possibilities here, don't we? It's a risky one, but let's have a look at what's on offer. I think that Bournemouth goal has been disallowed, which is disappointing. Because it was perfectly timed.
Preston Stoke is 1 to 1.
Perfectly timed to help you reduce your liability. Well, this insurance is going to be relatively high.
TD is 1 to 2.
You don't have to take insurance out at this stage of a match if you don't want to. Just check the match odds market first. Is it short enough? Can you keep your liability low? Looking for a potential Tranmere equaliser. No, Gillingham equaliser. So that would be at 2.74. I might give this a go myself. This is going to cost me about £28, something like that. £29, yeah. And this is English League 2 as well. It's very risky. But I do like what I'm seeing from Gillingham. And I like these odds, 2.72 as well. Get a decent return. If they score the next goal, of course, you'll be scuppered with a 0-2. This is based on what I'm seeing here. Mostly first half stats for Tranmere, just the one shot on target second half.
Shrewsbury is 1 to 2.
And we've got a goal back for Port Vale, so let's break and have a look there. This is what I was talking about. Tight rankings. Odds on favourite, well, not odds on favourite, but favourite at home. 0-2 down early enough. Desperate need for points. Get a goal back. How has that impacted on the market? Well, it's got us a marginal profit. Okay. Had the goal come a little bit earlier than the 70th minute, those Port Vale odds would have dropped markedly, or a lot more than they have now. Just wait for the back and the lay odds to get a little bit tighter to each other as well. And if you want to take the green, take it. For example, if I've got a loss coming up on Bournemouth, that will be a quarter of my loss amount, preempting the Bournemouth loss. So it becomes even more important. Compare that to aim for a 2-2. I might just take the £11. Personally, taking off £11 off that loss, which looks increasingly inevitable for Bournemouth. Just got to wait for this to tighten up. Or you could hold out if you want, of course. The next goal will give you an £8.82 on the draw, but you'll be aiming for this, won't you? Rather juicy. 224 quid on Port Vale. Of course, if this goal had come 60th minute or earlier, we'd have been in a lot better position. You can see if you can get rid of your liability, even though it's very small. It'll cost about 14 quid though, that's the problem. It'll leave you a loss on the draw. So I'll leave it as it is. So this is why we get involved with very small liability, so we can stay in at least to see whether we can get the 2-2 and then be in with a shout for a late winner. Don't forget, it's must win territory. So Gillingham, I think I played. The better second half stats, 4 shots on target. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shots off target. And all of the corners have come second half, so you can't ask for better than that. Second half belongs to the Gills so far. I didn't lay the Saints 2-0 up. 2-2 for the Black Cats. Wow. Didn't see that coming.
Goal. Blackburn Plymouth is 1-1.
Blackburn Plymouth 1-1. Did I have an opinion there?
QPR Middlesbrough is 0-2.
Oh. Middlesbrough got the best of QPR there. QPR starting very brightly in that match, didn't they? They didn't have an opinion there. So let's work our way down. Millwall and Birmingham, something to target late on, isn't it? But Millwall have done nothing second half. This is all first half bluster from them. Nothing added to it. It's a sign of a nervy team. Not done anything second half, entering the 75th minute at home. Bournemouth have that goal back. Is it going to stand? Is it going to stand?
Goal. Bournemouth Sheffield TD is 1-2. Goal. QPR Middlesbrough is 0-2.
So we've got the Bournemouth goal. Is it going to stand? You know what your losses are going to be. That's why if you hoover up these greens, if you've had a losing position early on, I would recommend you hoover up your greens, and that will cut into any losses you might have on a day. So that's my current loss.
FUTD is 1-2.
My current loss is half of my total liability. Now you see the importance of taking that 10 quid profit on the shrews just from that single goal. That reduces this liability now to a tenner. And it will give me the opportunity to stay in this, because if I can get it down to 13 quid, that's tolerable, in the hope of picking out a Bournemouth win. But really good performance so far from Sheffield United. So let's work our way through. Second half is up and running, and looks like Atletico Madrid are giving it a good go. 3 shots on, 1 off, 1 corner. Normally 60th minute plus you'll see a possible change.
Goal. Reading Wickham is 1-1.
You'll see a possible change.
Goal. Wigan Leyton Orient is 1-0.
I'm sure we've had some subs, or we'll get them in the on the hour mark. We've got a goal back. Oh no, we didn't. Got the Watford equaliser, didn't we? Yeah, we got. Here we go. Riquelme, Molina, and Correa are on. Memphis Depay off. How they could do with Antoine Griezmann today. Big absentee pre-Champions League in what is going to be a tight, niggly match against a side in desperate need of points. This is what you flirt with when you play Champions League football. See, Cadiz, 22 points. It's not where they are currently, it's how near they are to this lot here. That's the importance of this win today. Take 3 points away and they're below 20 points. So it's vital that they hold on. It's also vital that Atletico Madrid get something, because Bilbao are breathing down their necks. They're not guaranteed Champions League football next season yet. A win today takes them up to 58 points and puts a little bit of a gap between them and Atletico Bilbao. This is why you cover the 1-0. If you're doing the insurance, you cover it. So Gillingham still not added. Northampton. Stevenage. Can they take advantage of the red card? 69th minute. Still plenty of time for them to work on that. Wigan have taken the lead against 10-man Leighton Orient. 73rd minute. I missed that one. So we can get rid of that match. Millwall and Birmingham, one for the late, lay the draw. This one, 75th minute, 3 points, a necessity for both teams, particularly against your near rival. You've got to take 3 points off them. Stoke looking good, aren't they, against Preston? 2 shots on target, 3 shots off, 1 corner second half for Stoke City. 22nd in the league, 3 points would be very nice indeed. Good response for Atleti. 3 shots on, 2 off and a corner. And those key substitutions which you do tend to see for Simeone on about the 60th minute mark. Portsmouth, can I take advantage of the 10-man Blackpool side? 3 points would be very welcome at this stage of the season for Pompey. It's not a necessity, but it will certainly cement their automatic promotion plays. Well, a Walsall red card puts me off wanting to lay Forest Green, although knowing Forest Green this season, that's not going to stop them cocking things up. But were it 11 v 11, I would have stuck. I would have had a go at this one. 37th minute, Lyon have been in excellent form. Waiting for them to do something. Waiting for Port Vale to make it 2-2, which would be very nice indeed. 2.38 the favourite match. But you can cash out already. Your cash out figure is in relation to the amount you've risked. So you saw me earlier on. It was about an evens return just for that single goal. So it's all about the amount you've risked as far as your return is concerned. Stockport County, can they end this 0-0? It might be something to tell telegrammers. Can they end the 0-0? Well, I've passed this one on to you. Stockport County, second in the league, playing Newport County. 9 shots on target, 14 off, 9 corners, 70 dangerous attacks for Stockport County at 0-0. The only problem is they've had 2 consecutive 0-0s. Do you think that they can break through today? They are already odds-on favourite, about 1.57 to lay the draw. Or you could delay and start laying at 1.25 odds or lower. Up to you. It's the 80th minute now. Certainly want to target late on to get rid of that 0-0 sequence. Stockport don't want to be dropping points. They haven't had a win in 4 and they're second in the league. Desperate for that automatic promotion place. So there's possibilities there, but it's very hard trusting a side with 2 consecutive 0-0s. And Cadiz have made it 2-0 against Atletico Madrid. So it's another pre-Champions League surprise package. That's what we flirt with disaster, don't we? And this weekend, do we pull the trigger or don't we?
It has been suspended.
You're missing Antoine Griezmann as well, so this is a very tricky one to trust Atletico Madrid in, isn't it? Although I put my money where my mouth was, I'll need a 1-2 now, or a 2-1 to at least reduce my liability figure. It's still early enough in the second half for Atletico Madrid to get out of jail, but we would need one of their marquee strikers to be there, i.e. Griezmann, and he's not available. We've got Alvaro offside Morata and Correa now with Memphis Depay substituted. So that's a disappointment, that one. But this is what you face in this pre-Champions League weekend. This is why I tell you all about these Champions League sides. So you prepare yourself. You'll know if there is a surprise, and you know entering the match that it's not a gimme. Arsenal, Atletico Madrid, Dortmund, 5:30. Inter Milan later on. These are all sides you just have to be a little wary of. It's always a risk pre-Champions League, particularly this deep into the season, that you would get a surprise result. Bournemouth are on the cusp of getting that equaliser. 8 shots on, 15 off and 8 corners, but this is a typical display from a relegation threatened side. 80 minutes in and they're holding on desperately for the win. Crystal Palace and Luton, I don't have an opinion with that new manager in tow, as you can see. Maybe he's working on the defence, I don't know. But he's getting a positive result so far. Hull and Leicester. Is this Desmond Tutu gettable late on? We'll certainly look at that one as we come to the end. Well, Wrexham job done. MK Dons job done. Wolves didn't have an opinion, I'm afraid. 2.4 the favourite match. It's exactly doing what I expect it to do, i.e. the unexpected 2-0 win so far for Wolverhampton Wanderers. So let's just have a quick look through the rest of this lot and then catch up. Turkish Yorkshireman having a good day today. Could be in the Super League next season, sorry. So you'll get all of my Yorkshire jokes next season. 16 shots off target for Gillingham with 9 minutes to go. Can they get that equaliser? I'm hoping on them doing something here. Worst case scenario, I hope, will be a 0-1. We've been caught out by a couple of 0-2s. It might signal at this stage of the season or pre-Champions League that we do this both teams to score no if we have the opportunity to. That would save our bacon in this Cadiz match, because it'll be a bit of a stretch to expect Atletico Madrid to concede 3 consecutive goals. So we're waiting with interest there. Similar story for Millwall and Birmingham. Lay the late draw, 1.25 and lower. So we're getting to that stage of the match, but Millwall have done nothing second half. They had 4 shots on, 5 off in the first half, but nothing second half at all. So Gillingham equaliser and Hajduk split opening goal. So we just have to sit and hope that Athletic get a goal. But this is that you flirt with disaster at this stage of the season, pre-Champions League, away from home as well. And it's that boy Juanmo again. Now, he had a couple of significant substitutions, but missing your key marquee player, which I think could be the difference today. Could do with a 1-2 though, to reduce our liability. Or of course, both teams to score no saves your bacon pre-Champions League. Has to be an early enough goal though for Cadiz, 24th minute. So let's have a look at matches of great importance. Well, we've got that red card for Fleetwood, but still no reaction, or huge reaction. I like what I'm seeing from Gills though, against Tranmere. That's Sutton and Grimsby. Alright, Gillingham against Tranmere. Oh, there's the equaliser. Lovely jubbly. Oh, that's nice. I need that money. Because it's going to compensate for a couple of the losses earlier on. Let's see if we can get Gillingham. +1 was very good odds relative to the market. So let's have a look. So that's 53. I've lost 29. So I've made 34, which is pretty much a full liability for one of the losses in the previous set of fixtures. So that could cover the Atletico Madrid match, or it could cover the Bournemouth match. So that was a very useful goal from Gillingham, and it thoroughly deserved as well. So I hope you followed me in there. Bit of a risk, but it's all down to the in-play stats. Pre-match odds as well. Evens favourite, performing well at home against a struggler. Put it all together, and we've got a good possibility of an equaliser there, as we got on that occasion. So I was very happy with that. That will compensate either for this Atletico Madrid loss, or if Bournemouth don't win. So it'll having a nice win like that compensates for these errant scorelines. And I did think really initially 1.33 very poor for Bournemouth for what they haven't achieved recently. So I shouldn't have been hugely surprised that there's going to be a surprise or two for these relegation threatened sides. As you can see, Forest Green win, taking advantage of the 10 men for Walsall. So we get rid of that one. Happy with the Gills, if you followed me in there. Could I, the late winner there, Gillingham, got a bit of momentum at the end of the match. Stevenage against Fleetwood, can they get that win? They're running out of time, 10 minutes to go. Millwall, Birmingham, draw odds are getting nice and short. So let's have a look at the Millwall.
This market has been suspended.
Hopefully that's a 2-2. Birmingham, Bournemouth, I hope. Or it's a 1-2 for Cadiz. Just waiting. Or it's a goal in the Millwall-Birmingham match, which I didn't get to in time. Told you, target these for wins. That's a late goal for Millwall. There we go. Target these, as I say. So I hope you're picking these up.
Goal. Reading Wickham is 1-2.
Just because I'm not picking it up doesn't mean you don't pick them up.
Millwall Birmingham is 1-0.
There we go. That's what we were waiting for, and I liked what I was seeing there. 1.14 would have been your lowest entry point. I didn't get there in time. Real pity. But I hope you are picking these and hoovering these up yourselves. Particularly the relegation threatened sides like this. Look, get rid of these draws. Or I could do with a draw here though, of course, with Port Vale. I could have done with that tenner profit, couldn't I, to compensate for Madrid and possible Bournemouth losses as well. But that Gillingham certainly compensated for one of those two.
Reading Wickham is 1-2.
Nearly the full amount. I don't think it's a must win for Portsmouth today, but it would be a nice 3 points if they could get it. Port Vale, well, we know all about that. We were looking for that 0-2 to 1-2, and you would have made an evens return there. Reading and Wickham, 2.25 the favourite. Stockport County, can you trust these dodge pots? Well, we're getting to that stage in the match now where it's not going to cost you much to find out whether they'll end that 0-0 sequence. Certainly it's targetable next match. You can't have 3 consecutive 0-0s carrying on for too much longer. And again, you're entering the stage of the match where you can start drip laying. 1.25 and lower. 1.19 to win a fiver. 1.14 to win a fiver. 1.14 to win a fiver, yeah. And then we go 1.11, 1.09, sorry, to win 11 quid. And one more at 1.06, hopefully that'll get matched, to win 16 quid. Desperate need for points, and we've got that goal back for Bournemouth. Fabulous. That's dropped my losses down considerably now to £13 from 40, and I've still got a chance of a win. This would have been better played
Goal.
delaying, wouldn't it?
Chef UTD is 2-2.
And getting involved with that 1-2 for Sheffield United. So I can reduce my loss now to £13.33, which is a lot more tolerable than 40 quid, isn't it? So I'm happy with that position. Don't know how much Fergie time is left for Bournemouth. Thoroughly deserved though. 9 shot on 17 off 10 corners, but a very good display defensively from Sheffield United. Obviously working on increasing their shots on target, as you can see there. Millwall goals paid for the sub. Oh, indeed. Well, desperate need for the win, John. This is the time to get these sides. Desperate need for the win. Similar, Cambridge against Northampton, 19th in the league. Fleetwood, 23rd in the league, red carded. Stoke, winning so far, 22nd in the league. Cadiz, 18th in the league, winning so far. And that's, if that's accurate, you've got to lay the arse off Cadiz if that's 103 with 15 minutes to go. Goodness me.
Stockport Newport County is 1-0.
They've got the goal. They've got the goal at last. Did you lay that draw? Drip laying didn't work on this occasion because the goals come far too early. This is a disadvantage of drip laying in the method that I do it. You've only got the one matched. Disappointing. This was one to really get at that draw as late as possible. So I hope you profited there. That's all right. Again, relative to your losses in Atletico Madrid and Bournemouth, that almost negates that 13 quid loss in the Bournemouth match. So put that into perspective. Good call again. You've got a couple of options. You can either load up on a predetermined match odds or the current match odds, load up, or you can drip like I do. It's up to you. But you see the disadvantage of dripping like I do. If you only get the one match and you've called it right, it can be very frustrating. But a good call. Look at these 0-0 sequences. They've got to be targeted. If it's not today, next match. If it's 3 consecutive 0-0s, particularly for a side second in the league, that ain't going to do them any favours, is it? So target these scorelines. Look at these shorties in desperate need of points. Not shorties, but strugglers. Port Vale, can they make it 2-2? Probably missed the boat there. I could have done with that extra tenner, because that would have reduced the liability of that Atletico Madrid match as well, wouldn't it? Bournemouth 2-2. Well, if they can get the win, that would be fantastic. I'm happy with that. And well done to Millwall. No one likes them, but they don't care. 1-0 at home. Fans will be absolutely delighted with that last ditch win. Hull and Leicester. Well, been an under par performance from Leicester, but the market's telling us 2.15 the favourite today. No way were they extremely strong favourite. That's all. The 90th minute plays coming to an end. 3 o'clocks. So Tanzania woman. I'd give that one a miss, I think. Yeah, just have a look through some of these others, and I'll say goodbye to you at about 5 o'clock. Well done to Millwall. Well done indeed. Blackburn and Plymouth still. Well, it's a 1-1 draw and a red card. I think we've missed the boat there for a possible late win. And Bolton getting that late goal back against Exeter. Exeter putting in a really good run of late.
This market has been suspended.
I wonder if that's a late Desmond there. Can we get a goal in the Cadiz match, please, for Atletico Madrid? That would be very nice indeed, because we're running out of time now. Looks like this is going to be one of our Champions League curses hitting today. Get rid of that one. Barnsley and Lincoln, emphatic stuff.
Been suspended.
Well done to Gillingham. Great result. Good odds as well for the +1 for Gillingham. So don't forget, when you see shots on, shots off and corners, you must look at the timings. Because look at all of this for Eyüpspor. All looking great, isn't it? But got to make sure it's added to in the second half. Harrogate and Crawley. Get rid of that one. And Luton make it a late draw. Wow. I wouldn't have seen that coming, and I wouldn't have played. New manager syndrome. I think they're paying the price for playing not to lose rather than trying to dig out a win. Woodrow, the ex-US president, getting a goal there in the 96th minute. Could be a vital point for Luton Town. Indeed, it keeps them within 4 points of Nottingham Forest, 3 points of Nottingham Forest, and they've got a game in hand over Everton and 4-point deficit. So they'll be targeting those two sides, Luton Town, Everton, Nottingham Forest and Brentford. Realistically, they had to get something out of Palace, which they've done. That's kept Palace within their eyesight. If Palace zoomed off with another 2 points, they'd have broken the psychologically important 30-point barrier. So this is a vital point for Luton Town, it really is. Whew. They don't know when they're beaten, do they? So let's have a look through these slots. If you wanted to lay the late draw, Exeter and Bolton, by all means do. Exeter have given a really good display today.
This market has been suspended.
If you fancy that one. It looks like Fleetwood Town are surviving. I don't see a late goal for Stevenage just yet. Portsmouth, as I say, it's not a buster gut win, this one. That's the problem for them today. And it's a well done to Cadiz. Or what are you going to do? Your pre-Champions League and your star player is out injured. Your star striker out injured, and that's the result. But that's been compensated for by the Gillingham equaliser, thankfully. Hull and Leicester 1.05, and Fulham have a goal back, continuing Gary O'Neill's both teams to score record for Wolves, but likely a consolation goal, that one. Stockport against Newport, well, we got the goal there, didn't we? Bournemouth, well, that's ended. It's come out of that with a 13 quid loss. I'm delighted for that, rather than 40 quid. It's all about the choice of markets, isn't it? If you've got it into the +1 market, you'd be fine. But there was very little value in the +1 market there. So that's about it at the moment. Coming to 5 o'clock. Just waiting for the stragglers to finish up, and then I'll say goodnight to you. Might stay up for another couple of hours. Watching the Arsenal match, certainly that's going to be a humdinger. Must get the win today. Must get the win with Man City and Liverpool likely to slit each other's throat later on. Inter Milan, tough match against unbeaten in 6 Bologna. Pre-Champions League again, you've just seen what's happened to Atletico Madrid. So you have been warned about this particular part of the season. So that's ended. That's probably ended. So any side playing away from home pre-Champions League, they
This
are
market has
vulnerable,
been suspended.
as you've seen. So these are all end of matches. Right, well that looks about me done. Yeah, that looks about me done for today. So I will see you now over on Telegram. So I'll see you over on Telegram for the rest of the evening, certainly for the duration of the Arsenal match. Hopefully you've made some profits. You've seen the trouble we have pre and post Champions League, and indeed with these relegation threatened sides like Sheffield United bucking or busting the coupon as they have done here. I thought 1.33 was a little too short really for Bournemouth. I think 1.2 is a little short for the Arse as well, given this is a London derby and it's pre-Champions League. So do be wary of the sides playing in the Champions League or next week. Pre and post Europa League as well this season or this weekend. So you're going to have some sides sandwiched between last week's Europa League and this week's Europa League. So some of these sides are going to underperform. We just don't know which ones. How about Inter Milan? Are they going to underperform pre-Champions League away from home against a pretty solid Bologna side? We'll wait and see. Thanks very much for coming along. I do appreciate you coming along. And I'll see you over on Telegram now. And I'll see you here again at the YouTube channel for another live stream tomorrow.